speech at 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, as stated in the Constitution of Indonesia, every person has the right to be voted and to vote. In the Voting Rights Act in our Constitution has banned the discrimination practice within our society. The Civil Rights Law bans discrimination through the use of poll taxes and the application of any test, such as the literacy test or any kind of test to determine whether voters could take part in elections. In our status quo right now, we already have the standard requirements of voters that they are allowed or that they can choose the right candidate by their right thinking, right? These requirements has give us the standard or the correct who are the right people who can use their vote, and I'm gonna state these requirements. The first one, the people over the age of 17 can vote, right? Because they already have the critical thinking enough to choose between which one is the better candidate for the country, right? Because they can have the awareness and they can have the knowledge of the political situation in our country. They can understand our political matters in our country, and therefore we believe that people over the age of 17 can already use their voice to vote in the political election. And the second one, requirements, is about mentally stable. People who are mentally stable are allowed to use their voice to vote, because we believe that people who are mentally unstable cannot have the right thinking to use their voice to vote. And the third one is the people who can vote are free of any crime history in their track record. And then the people of the region and country that they do the election itself. And the last one is are not part of the military forces, because we believe that the people of the military forces are gonna have a biased understanding or biased knowledge about the candidate of the election itself. It shows to us that the regulation and the Constitution has already the standard regulation, and it is good enough to filter any people that are not qualified to use their voice or to use their rights to vote, right? We believe under our side of the house that tests are not suitable to use to test the political knowledge of our citizen to use their right to vote, because it is discrimination to other people that are not exposed to the information regarding the candidate and the political matters of Indonesia itself. For example, like the people of the rural area where they cannot know the political matters that happen in our country, for example. Okay, we may understand that the people who do the election for the chief of village may understand the political of that village. But what if the election in the presidential? We believe that in presidential debate, the people in rural area doesn't have enough access to that information, and they therefore doesn't have enough knowledge within our political knowledge. And therefore, the problem in our stance is not just about to test the voters' knowledge about political itself to choose the right candidate for our country, but rather we want to give the socialization and giving the education itself that could reach every single person in rural areas of Indonesia. And therefore we believe that test is not needed anymore, because we believe by giving them the education and socialization will give them the right political general knowledge, and therefore they will choose the right candidate for the leader of our country. But before that, I would like to give a few rebuttal to the Prime Minister under OG, where they give the goal that they want to test the candidate political knowledge by giving them tests. But we believe that under our side of the house, test is taking so much time and so much money that the government has to fund, that they have to pay for it to afford it. Because imagine if we do that test every year, and it will take a lot of time. It's not just gonna waste our money, but it's also waste our time, and it doesn't take any effective effect to our political matters in our country. Because we believe that if we test their knowledge but not giving them enough education or socialization regarding the political matters itself, it will be a waste of time and a waste of money. And in the government side of the house, they believe that their stance is how do I say it? talking about democracy, right? But under our side of the house, we believe that by giving tests to other people, to the citizen who vote, are a part of harming our democracy itself, because people that are not suitable or not having enough political knowledge, they cannot vote, and then they're gonna have to take the test again in the future, and it will take a lot of time, and they give the example of a driver license, for example, because people who wants to have a driver license, they have to take a test. And while we believe in under our side of the house that it is not relevant enough to actually compare the driver license to the test of the people who want to take vote, right? Because these two things are totally different. When we want to drive, of course we have to take driver's license, because it is connected to ourselves, because we are the one that driving. Because if we cannot drive and then we have to drive, and if we don't have enough driving skill, it will harming other people. But when in talking about political matters, if we have enough political knowledge, we will not be tested enough. It will be no more tests, because we believe in under our side of the house, it is suitable to use education and socialization to actually educate our people, and also the people that are not exposed to the literacy or the knowledge of the political matters itself in our country, to be understand about the political itself. And that is why that we believe the solution under OG is not effective enough and not sustainable, because we believe it will only discriminate and also takes a lot of time and a lot of funding, right? But we believe under our side of the house that the solution of our side is much better and more efficient, and of course more sustainable, because we gonna give every people, the citizen of education and the socialization itself. And therefore I proudly propose this motion. Thank you.